Hey everybody, how is everybody doing? It's William W.J.R. Parks here, along with my co-author again, Janelle Coberly.
Hi.
This is Tuesday, so we're doing another video kind of revolving around our world and how we developed our characters and that particular world for Ravenverse. Hopefully my internet doesn't die off because we're having rolling power outages right now as they're trying to keep up with the grid with this winter storm that's going on outside, freezing everything here in Texas. So if you see me go away, that's what happened. I'm sure Janelle can finish it off though. um,
Oh,
anyway, so I think we both had an idea to keep on going with tips for extremely new writers, people who are just trying to break into the writing business, because that's what it comes down to in the outcome. If you want to make a living out of it, you got to treat it like a business. So I think last time we talked about building up tension and as far as what do you call it, emotional tension, plot tension, and today we wanted to talk about pretty much how to write in a way where you can actually paint a picture of your world and your character. So Janelle's going to concentrate more on the actual character idea of how to give a three dimension to your character. If people usually have problems with that, and again, she's going off of one of her favorite writers that teaches this is Rain Hall. So yeah, what you want to talk about as far as the characters go?
well, you want to make your characters, like Will said, three-dimensional, which means that they're going to have good traits, but they're also going to have bad traits, or they're going to have traits that maybe other people think are uh, kind of off or weird or whatever. Even your prota- antagonists have um, for instance, if you had a serial killer, you might make him love dogs or cats or whatever, and maybe he take collects them and takes care of them, and he's got 15 cats and 20 dogs and so on like that, even though he's a serial killer. Or you had your main character is struggling with some issue that it could be anything from maybe they're a paraplegic, or maybe they have been mentally abused, or maybe they've been whatever. So they have struggles there. And so you want to give them problems, uh, personal problems that they're also struggling to overcome, and give them maybe some bad traits. Like maybe if somebody mentions something to so and so because she's uh, upset about something and then she snaps at him or something, maybe that's a bad trait that she has. She goes around snapping at people from time to time or whatever. Just different little things that you can weave into their characters to make them more interesting and give them, like Will said,
Yeah,
dimension.
yeah. Given three dimension is like conflicting actions with their inner monologue, like the way that they're thinking when you're writing inside their head, their point of view. Um, Maybe they also, another good trick is maybe they're thinking about one way for a situation, but their actions portray another thing, like an opposite conflict of what they're actually saying. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe if they do have a pet and they're like extremely angry and they want to, like, they say they're going to hit the pet in order to to calm it down or something if they're barking, but in their mind they don't really want to do that, but yet actions portray a different personality and they end up hitting the dog or the cat or whatever. That's
Mhm.
conflicting actions. Like, I don't want to hurt the dog, but he's making me so angry because they're barking right now. And so they end up hitting the dog or something. That
Mhm.
gives it a three-dimensional, but then you can build on it and move for more into the character's personality and kind of maybe it gets worse as the story progresses. Um, and that kind of goes along with what I wanted to do as well. It's like you're trying to paint a picture of the character, but you can also paint a picture of scenes and in the book when you're writing your, descriptions and um, maybe how people interact with each other, or even if you're describing a dog and sitting in the middle of the road. There's different ways, and there's one video that I've always recommended to people that I found, I think a year or two ago, when they asked me about show and don't tell, and I wanted to bring that up right now, so that way everybody can see it and know which video I usually recommend to people. It's really good. It's one of the best videos I've found that actually does very well. This one is by how do you say, Diane Callahan?
Looks like Callahan.
Callahan, yeah.
Is it Callahan? Callahan.
Yeah, Callahan. But she made this video right here, and it's a really, really good video. It is about 27 minutes long, but each section in the video actually explains really well how to get a good idea what a telling is compared to what showing is. And so if you ever want to give it a look, go ahead and give it a look, and she'll give you quite a
the novel transformed.
Yeah, give you quite a few tips.
20th centuries with a rock group in it. She'd roll her eyes and shove off with one foot, leaving a black heel mark on the painted metal. But she also loved the smell of her perfume. The combination lock would still be warm from her ass, and the next break, Gwen would be leaned there again. Polinique adds, instead of characters knowing.
Well, that's probably more of a romantic one, but yeah, she gives a lot of explanations as far as giving or at least examples on what to work on with your technique. If you're worried that you're telling more into the story than completely immersing people into the picture of the scenes that you're trying to portray. And of course, this goes along with your character creation. There's two different types of techniques, of course. This one is painting the picture of the overall story compared to like scenes and whatnot. What Janelle's talking about is creating your 3D characters to paint a better picture of how his personality or her personality is. So anyway, that video is my main go-to right there. And you don't necessarily usually want to do a lot of telling for every single scene, of course. Otherwise, your story would be humongous. You would have a thick book. So you have to, when writers are doing that.
You do have some telling. You do have some telling in your book. It's the exposition part of your book, and that's actually telling. When you write exposition, it's actually
yeah. So because you do need to.
Don't think that you can't have any telling at all. You can, and it's usually in the form of exposition.
Yeah.
Can't say the darn.
Exposition. Yeah. Yeah, because you want to make sure that you can move the story along as well. Because when you are showing, you are creating a picture of sorts, and so you're painting this idea, be it through the senses that you want to immerse the people in, such as texture, smell, light, colors. Like if rain is falling, you want to be able to capture that the wetness of it, the warmth or the coolness of it, the wind hitting if it's a storm, or maybe it's the smell, the ozone layer, maybe if there's thunder. All that is what you want to incorporate in order to create that picture. And maybe that picture also has a symbolic meaning, because since it's just storm, maybe it goes along with maybe there's something bad about to happen. So that's pretty much that falls under the idea of creating your scene. Character-wise, yeah, 3 dimensions. I don't know if you have any other examples that you wanted to give, or any other tips.
Well, um, if you want to show some of your character traits, you could show them doing different things. For example, Peggy Sue is making a cake and she's whipping the batter in a bowl by hand. And her husband comes in and says something to her, upsets her, and you have her turn back to the bowl, grab her, wrap her arm around the bowl and whip it furiously, and then shove it, all of a sudden just drop everything and shove it away from her. That kind of shows her anger without saying that she was angry. It's just kind of a,
No, yeah,
it's not
that's a good.
example, but it's a kind of an idea of how to show the difference in showing and telling. You wouldn't just say, well, she was mad at her husband, or her husband made her angry, or whatever. You would show her in her angry state, in her action of being angry.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And I forgot, I think even the video had said something about when you're showing, you dramatize the scene. So you want to get some drama in there, and sometimes showing helps you to get that going into the scene, because it's more exciting. It's more, pulls the reader in, gives it more of a I don't know, submersive feeling into the story, and that's what you usually want for your important scenes. So you like Janelle said, you basically break it up between your narration, exposition, backstory, action, and then descriptive scenes. All that kind of creates the whole pacing of your story. But yeah, give that video a look. I'm going to put it back up again for anybody that would be interested more on the ideas of show, don't tell. And I guess it's the complete writing guide right here. So that's why it's 30 minutes long. Really good information. So just go to YouTube and get that in there. As far as the what you want to type in, you can type how to show, not tell, the complete writing guide, or you can look up Diane Callahan. I'm always butchering people's last names. But yeah, and then for Janelle's book, again, Rain Hall. What was that book again?
Vivid Characters. Let me show it again. Vivid Characters. This is an excellent book. New writers, I really suggest that you buy as many of her books as you possibly can. They are so helpful. And they get right to the point. She goes right to the point about how to do these techniques and things like that. They're excellent teaching books. Excellent. I highly recommend them.
Yeah, I have quite a few on Kindle, so.
Yeah. We were talking about giving your characters, particularly your main character, different traits, and they might be bad. Well, you can also give them good traits. I mean, really good traits, like maybe he or she volunteers regularly and goes over to the senior citizen village and helps around there, or reads to some of the people, or shows them movies or whatever. And you can also make them have their own disability. Like I said a while ago, maybe they're paraplegic and they're trying to do whatever it is, whatever your storyline is, but you can make them have a disadvantage of some sort. They don't always have to be perfect people or perfect characters, because none of us are. And so, go from there.
It gives them the idea of being the underdog in a sense. And that's one way to make your characters likable too, is maybe they're going through all this. It makes them into where they're an underdog. Exactly. Because a lot of people can relate to that. Because we all go through some stuff that in life that might bring us down and we have to overcome. So that's one of the quickest ways in order to get a character to be likable in the story. Have everything bad happening to them, and just keep pushing that stress level up, and so people start rooting for them.
Right. A lot of these things that they come up against, you want to. I suggest that by the end of the book, you have had them resolve the problem, or find a solution, or find a way to deal with it, and kind of bring that thread to an end. And preferably have a good end. You know, like, well, they finally figured out how to get to the bus station and stop, or the bus stop, in her wheelchair or his wheelchair before the bus takes off and leaves them sitting there or something. I mean, you know, it's silly what I'm saying, but you kind of get the idea, the point.
Yeah. Well, alrighty then. So I think that pretty much gives us for the ideas that we wanted to talk about today. You know, just concentrating on show, don't tell, and building your character. I know we're going to be back Thursday, and we're going to be on with another author interview. Her name is Katie Salidis. I think I'm saying that right. Like I said, I butcher everybody's last name. Salidis, I think. But I'll probably start promoting that tomorrow and Thursday. So she's really, she has a book out there for her, actually, that is going to be excellent for new writers. And she has a book that she wrote herself, 2 of them actually, that she wrote herself, that I think would help new writers out fairly well. So it'd be interesting going over things with her.
Yeah,
but
really interesting. It should be a really, really good interview, a really interesting interview, and probably full of tips.
Alrighty then, everybody. We'll see you Thursday, hopefully. Thanks for tuning in again at Writing Raven Universe. It was me and Janelle. Like I said, you can still find our books, or you can always find our books on Kindle and Amazon under WJR Parks or Janelle Coberly. Just type that in, and should pop up our books. Hopefully, unless something's going on. So, but we'll talk to you later, Thursdays. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.